or the sensible sized vise. With a very good name, Wooden. So it's a bit grim, it's a bit tricky. And little bits of weld here and there that need get the angle grinder on. So the first thing to do, try and clean a lot of this wood and metal residue and swarf and grease off. Get some degreaser on it. But yeah, it's a sensible size, not too big, not too small, just right for me actually. It's a bit of clean up and get it looking well. Well, as you'll notice, I've got some of the worst muck off it. It does need further cleaning, and I could paint it, but we're in the middle of January, there's no chance I'm going to get the paint to cure in the garage. And as I've had to buy a new oven over the Christmas period, deep dry, the original one went bang while cooking, but as I've had to buy a new one, I don't think my wife will be too pleased if I start drying paint out in the oven. It's something I've done before, I wouldn't recommend it, it stinks the house out a bit, but it is a way of making paint cure. Probably for the single blokes, not for the married men. But anyway, looks like I've got some epoxy resin on there, so I'll chip that off. And these I'll just get the grinder on. I'm not going to paint it, I'm just going to clean it up really. These surfaces need a good old going up with the bit of wire wool, bit of polish, just to smooth them off. More so the underneath here, so that'll slide freely. Just make sure there's no nicks or rust, corrosion. The central spindle, I need to take this out really. There's a pin, let's see if I can move that. You can probably see a pin, out of focus, a pin just there. Now that pin is against a washer and a spring. If you take it out, it can be a bit of a bugger to put back in. One of those jobs you need 3 hands for. You need to compress the spring and the washer and get the pin in while keeping everything in place. All good fun. But I'll need to do that to clean this properly. Get rid of all the old tired grease from the threads there. Likewise the bit it goes into. But yeah, it's all going to get there. I'll probably paint it in summer, but yeah, I just want to get it usable for the time being. And that should do it. You can see by comparing that size of my hand to it, that's what 3 inch on the jaw, something like that, 2.5 inch, 3 inch. But it's the ideal size for anything I'm going to use it for. I'm not going to be putting great big pieces of angle iron in and bashing them over 90 degrees or out. No, that's for slightly more delicate work than that, but work where I need a good grip. Yeah, stuff with push bikes and motorbikes. Occasional car bits, but I'm not going to be putting any hubs in there to bash the bearings out, put it that way. Someone else can do that. Hard work. Here's the rest of it. Just that bit there needs polishing. There's no bent corners or anything, so that's not too bad. Inside, not sure if you can see it, just need some of the remaining dead spiders and whatnot clearing out. This bit, turn that round. As you can see, that's threaded inside, and the threaded bar showed earlier goes in there. That sits in there, bolts down. So I need to clean that up, clean where it's sitting, get the muck off there, and more importantly clean these threads up. Get a rotary wire brush on that, and I'll clean all the muck out of the threads. And common theme, another little bit of weld splatter on there. Get the grinder on that, but I can get this bolted to my bench. And yeah, very useful addition to the workshop. Not been too good. I've not ridden my bike for over a month. Been very bad with my chest. I think I've had the Omicron variant, you know, of the virus. But yeah, get on the mend. Hopefully this week I might be able to get out and about. Touch wood. I'm not sure I'll video it because I'm not sure how far I can get, or how well I'll do. But if I do slightest little thing at the moment, I'm absolutely exhausted. But yeah. That's not too bad. That should make life easier for me in the garage, put it that way. Let's get it back together. Right, some sticky grease in them threads, and what I'll do as well, while I can reach them, get them on those working surfaces there and up top, just enough basically to keep it moving, stop any rust forming on that surface. I'm going to spray it all with a bit of WD or something just to keep the surface rust at bay. Right, that bit. In there. Some grease on them threads. Bit more. Right. Yeah, I just had to taper the end of the threads on there. Ideally, I mean, how I do when I get around to painting it or something, is drill it out and tap it in a metric thread and stick a metric bolt in, because that bolt's slightly bent. But I've left it, tightened it up with a 7/16 spanner. I've left it slightly loose so that can move about a bit. Not sure if you can see inside there, but just enough play on there so I can centre it when I put this bit in. Right, but first, bit of grease on these bearing surfaces. Same as before, just a light bit just to ease the passage, as it were. Don't want it getting everywhere, but to be honest, don't matter if it does. On there and there. Right, just need 2 hands for this next bit. I popped a bit of grease on these surfaces and under there, and also along the threaded part, the threaded bar as well, because I've been at it with degreaser and stuff, so put some fresh grease on. Got it in a few threads, so now I just need to get the 7/16 spanner and just nip this up, and then it should all be together. Screw it together and ready to use. There we go. Might not be the prettiest vise in the world, but it's a vise. It works well. It's smooth to operate. Just looks a bit ugly for now, but soon sorted. Get that done in summer when paint's got a chance to dry, when it's not damp and cold all the time. Well, if you've watched so far, thanks for watching. Hopefully next time I shall be out and about on a bike. Cheers!